Hello, wrestling fans, especially all you SICW wrestling fans. As you know, I bring you these little interviews from time to time over the last many years. And as all of you know, I've had some of the all-time greats on here: B. Brian Blair, Kevin Von Erich, Dr. D. David Schultz, a Million Dollar Man, and that list goes on and on. The Funks, the Briscoes. But tonight, I'm telling you, the guy you're seeing right there is up at the top of that list, and I am so honored to have the NWA, and yes, I'm saying the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance champion, my good friend, the champ, Trevor Murdoch. Champ, thank you for taking time to join me tonight.
Herb, thank you for having me, man. I've really been looking forward to this, so this will be a lot of fun.
Well, you know, and we talked the other day, all the years that we've known each other, and that I used to come to Harley's shows, or he'd be up here. We tried to get dates worked out together, and you were so busy in demand back then, we could never do it. But so we got this, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. That picture sitting behind you, that 10 pounds of gold, it fits right around you. Like, and when I mention them other guys, you know, I am so excited. You can tell I was there. It's a 73. And I got to say first, William Corrigan, I am so excited about working with him, talking to him. But I was so excited when he invited me to come to the Chase Park Plaza, the place that I called home for all those years, to see you be there and have a hell of a fight with Nick Aldis, another great champion. But I'm telling you, that night, I could tell everything that you were taught from the late great Harley Race. You put it all together that night.
It really was a magical night for a guy like me, being a Harley Race guy. You couldn't set up the scenario really any better. Like you said, Chase Park Plaza, Coruscant Ballroom, main event with one of the best athletes in the business, and for the NWA World Heavyweight title. To be able to be in that ballroom and win the world title in front of my family, in front of my friends, and to be a Harley Race guy, I would keep going back to that. But if he would have been there, he would have been so proud to be able to have, create that moment.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, he may have not been in there physically, but spiritually, he was looking down on you and that entire crowd. And then to have the Nature Boy there, that held that title how many different times. Some of the greatest matches he ever had in St. Louis, against Bruiser Brody, against Harley Race, against Ted DiBiase. Just the names go on. And for you to be there and to walk out of there with that title, it gave me goosebumps all up and down my body. And I could just tell from you, your family was there. It had to be a great honor. Tell the viewers here, before we get into what we really want to talk about tonight, working with Harley all those years on the road, traveling, what was that moment like? I mean, you're fighting your butt off in there, but when you get that final victory count, I mean, what went through your mind?
Just a lot of pride and happiness, and a little disbelief. The fact that I dreamed of that moment. When you're working for Harley, the NWA is kind of the company that he used as the model for his business model for everything. That's how WLW was ran. The NWA, that's how he worked with his wrestlers. There was, strict kayfabe. It was very NWA like. So for me, for my career wise, to lead to that, and then to be able to step into the ring for the NWA, for the world title, it really made me just happy, and it made me feel good about the fact that I feel like I made the right decision in life when it comes to pro wrestling. And it just a lot of the boys back in the day, we would all talk about it. Man, how cool would it be if we ever got the chance to wrestle, just to even wrestle for the NWA World title, but let alone to win it. It was just a lot of dream come trues all at one night. To have my family there and see that happen, they were, they've been with me throughout the years and have seen the ups and downs. My wife and my oldest son, they've got to see the ups and downs of the business. So it was kind of a big payoff for them. But also too, like, that night there was a certain amount of, I took a big deep breath and realized, like, I'm the leader of the show. I'm the representative of one of the oldest, most prestigious companies in the world. All those names that you talked about before in the beginning of this interview here, I carry them around my waist and I represent them. So my chest stuck out a little bit higher, a little bit taller. But the weight on the shoulders definitely got a little heavier.
Well, and you know that because, your career, as you said, was like a roller coaster. You've had the ups and the downs, and that's the nature of the business. And I remember Harley, telling me when I'd have him in for some special appearances and stuff like that, he always had that dream that you and a few other of the guys that he had underneath that learning tree was going to climb that ladder. And I got to say, several of you have. And I mean, I was there. I got to be there that night because, I talked to you that afternoon, and I was just so excited. And I'm still excited, not only for you, like I said, but I mean, you're the champ, man. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here now. Herb Simmons, a wrestling promoter, NWA I grew up on, those three letters, NWA, that, and you take the 4 words of wrestling at the chase. And that's why I said this whole thing that's meshing together with the Core Sand Room, Chase Park Plaza, William Corrigan, owner, CEO, I call him the hog with the big ones, because he's got it now. And but and then you got Trevor Murdoch, a name that is synonymous with the NWA because you put that. And again, I don't mind saying Harley Race because Harley greatest of all times. I mean, you were there and saw some of the battles that he had with some of these guys. He was that energized bunny that he would take a licking but keep on ticking. And I mean, I've had stories from, Andre the Giant, Bruiser Brody, guys like that tell me, say, yeah, we're bad, but Harley it's a little bit better, So that was always, I thought, a feather in the cap of Harley Race. But for you to now be that world champion, the target's on your back, without a doubt. Now the pressure starts going. And what I want to talk about tonight is something that, like I said, I'm excited about it. I'll be doing this 48 years come February, and I got to tell you, I never dreamt that this was going to happen, that William Corrigan and I could come together on an agreement. And of course, you had to sign off on it because you're the champ, And on Wednesday night, December the 1st, back in St. Louis, the first title defense. You could have picked this to be anywhere, but it's going to be in St. Louis, going against somebody that you've got a little history with, and I'm talking about the SICW Classic Hall of Fame champion, Attila Khan, the International Bounty Hunter. Let's talk about that for just a minute. What does that mean to you?
Well, when this opportunity came up, I really couldn't think of a better place to kind of just give back what's given to me. The St. Louis fans really showed up that night at 73. So to have my first title defense back in the St. Louis area really brings a lot of pride and brings a lot of happiness. And I think, the St. Louis folks deserve it. And also to be going against, I guess you could consider, another Harley Race guy. You know what I mean? I've known Attila Khan for a long time. If anybody just does a little history and a little research, the internet has amazing information. And when I was confronted with this opportunity, I asked myself, if I'm going to be world champion, I have to go against the toughest men in the business. If I'm gonna say it, if I'm gonna walk it, I got to be about it. And Attila Khan was top of the list. Like there's nobody else right now that's just, I guess, laying a path of destruction like Attila Khan is right now. So if I'm gonna say I'm gonna be world champion, I've got to go against the biggest, the baddest, and the toughest. So Attila Khan's, he's my first obstacle, my first mountain I need to climb.
Well, and that's I told somebody just yesterday. I said, Attila Khan sat underneath that learning tree of Harley Race, the champ, the NWA champion, sit there, and on December the 1st, that Wednesday night, it's going to be interesting to see which one of those students paid the most attention in class under Harley Race, because it's going to be an all-out battle. I know that because, as you said, Attila Khan, I mean, he's went against some of the toughest. Tommy Dreamer scored a victory over him. Bushwhacker Luke Williams just in the last few weeks, a brutal match against Haku in Belleville, Illinois. And I mean, they're still talking about that. And, just that list has went on and on. And, he hangs around with the likes of Travis Cook, is, who you're familiar with. And of course, come December 1st, you're going to have eyes in the back of your head. I haven't even really announced this until I think I did yesterday. Another one of Harley's students, superstar Steve Fender, is going to be on that card. And of course, he belongs to that TCO, that Travis Cook organization. And I don't mean to say I'm stacking the deck against you, champ, but if anybody can handle the TCO, I think it's going to be champ Trevor Murdoch.
I think I've definitely got my hands full. If anybody in the business knows me, it's Attila Khan, and vice versa. I think that's where the matchup's going to be. Travis Cook, I've heard his promos. He has been chirping my name ever since he's found out about this opportunity. I haven't responded to him. One of the lessons he needs to learn is that I'm the champ, and no one summons me, no one tells me what to do. You come to me, and so I'll give him a response when I feel accordingly. But that's why I wanted to give you the first opportunity, Herb. I wanted to come talk to you about this. I know what kind of fight is ahead of me. I know what position I put myself in, but I also know that I can't run around the world and tell everybody that I'm the NWA World Heavyweight Champion and not face an opponent like Attila Khan. I know what he brings to the table, and I know how important this is to him too. I know what he wants. I know that he wants to be able to go home and say that he's the NWA World Champion. So December 1st is going to be a big night for both of us, and I think at the end of the night I'm going to be the one standing tall. At least that's what I hope.
Let me ask you this, champ. You have never ever heard or know of you backing down from any challenge, but you just kind of summed it up there to the fact that you're dealing with now Attila Khan, who is very unorthodox. Is there any special training, or how do you get yourself mentally fit, knowing that you're going there with this guy who is like I said, just came off of a match with Haku, one of the toughest guys in the business? Is there anything special you do, or are you just taking in stride?
Right now, with me becoming world champion, I've spent a lot more time in the ring than I have in years, because I have to prepare myself for anybody and everybody. For a guy like Attila Khan, it's more of a mental game with that guy. I know what kind of pain, and I know what he's going to bring. I know he's going to hit me with everything he's got. What I've got to focus on is being able to take an opportunity that he may give me, a mistake that he may make, and blow that up, basically. I know how aggressive Attila Khan is. I know the monster the man is. What I'm hoping is I'm going to find a chink in his armor and just expunge on that and blow that up.
Well, and that's what I was wondering, and I know some of the fans will be asking that same thing, because I mean, this is a buzz. I mean, this is big. I mean, I know Mr. Corrigan, the 73, that 4-day event you had there was big, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of buzz. This is being sponsored by the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. They're the ones that's putting this together. Not only this world title match that you're going to be in, defending that 10 pounds of gold behind you there, but that same night, the gentleman who was the president of the National Wrestling Alliance for over 41 years off and on, Sam Muchnick, is being inducted into the Hall of Fame that night. Another good friend of ours, Larry Matisek, who you know, the longtime play-by-play announcer, is being inducted, and then the ring announcer, Mickey Garagiola. All of their families are going to be there to see that induction take place. The other
two out of those three men have called some of my matches, which makes it so cool for me, man. Like just to be able to say that. There's video, there's tape footage out there of those two gentlemen calling some of my matches. So it's really an honor to be a part of this.
Well, and that's what I said when William and I started negotiating. I said, this is the NWA, and the fans who are going to be listening to this interview, they grew up on the NWA. I mean, it was the most prestigious business out there. The champions, as I named a few of them, and that list goes on and on. But I told him, I said, with being in St. Louis, the NWA title being defended, with Sam Muchnick, Larry Matisek, Mickey Garagiola being inducted into the St. Louis Hall of Fame, we got to add a little bit more to it. And that's why I reached out to another good friend of ours. His brother was one of the all-time great NWA champions, Jack Briscoe. His brother, Gerald Briscoe, is going to be joining us that night. And I've even asked him, I said, win, lose, draw, whatever happens in this match, I want you to present the winner of that match that title, because that's that NWA connection. I mean, Jack Briscoe was one of the all-time greats. I mean, him and Harley battled all the time in St. Louis or all over the country, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. is going to be there in attendance from St. Louis.
No pressure at all, Herb. None at all. Like,
no
world title match. No pressure at all.
Hey, have you ever known me not to do it the hard way?
No, you do it. No, you're doing it big. You're doing it big, Herb, which is great. I'm excited.
One other gentleman that's going to be there, I reached out. He's a dear friend of mine, and Larry Matisek and Mickey, and all of them, was one of my former SICW champions. Ron Powers is going to be there to help with the induction ceremony. And I know Ron has followed your career. In fact, he was at our show in Belleville where Attila and Haku battled, and got to spend some time with him there. And he's looking forward to December 1st. He said, man, Herb, he said, when you put Trevor in there against Dennis, he said, you don't know what you're asking for.
I appreciate Ron's kindness. I've been on the wrong side of Ron's big boots before too. So he's a man amongst men, a monster amongst men as well. So
yeah, he told me the story one time when he was down there with Arlie that he loaned somebody some boots, or he had to get boots from somebody because somebody forgot them. And you know how some of them stories get told. I think when Tony Twist was down there with you guys or something, and but Ron will be there, and like I said, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. Ed Wheatley, the author who has written that Wrestling at the Chase book, is a big part of that. Helped coordinate this whole thing. Again, that Wrestling at the Chase book. They're making a movie of Wrestling at the Chase. It will be out in March or April of
awesome.
Next year. That's going to be a PBS film, so I'm kind of hoping that possibly some of the film crew may be there on December the 1st to get a little footage, because I think, boy, what a classic NWA title being defended again in St. Louis at the Holiday Inn. Real easy to get to, 270 and Watson Road. It's going to be a great night. But, when we talk about that, the Hall of Fame people said, hey, I know you got this title. I mean, this championship match, but can we get a ladies match? And so I said, well, yeah, it's like they're laying out there everywhere. You can find good workers.
Of course, yeah.
Fortunate, I got Terry Gordy's daughter, Miranda Gordy, is going to be there that night. And of course, as tough as she is, she's tough as nails. I said, man, I got to find somebody who can give her a battle. And so I reached out to Malaya Hosaka.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a match. And like I said, superstar Steve Fender is going to be in action. Another one of your friends who just got crowned the SICW Central States champion, the Night Train, Gary Jackson, will be on that card. So, I mean, it's going to be a who's who night, but I'm telling you, great matches, but that world title match seems to be what everybody's talking about.
Well, of course, and I'm sure you're excited too because if Attila wins, he brings us to SICW. So you're
Oh,
come
could you
on,
tell
Herb.
that?
I see a little foam just frothing at the cheeks right there.
Well, you
Um,
know, and I promised Mr. Corrigan if that happened, uh, he could have access to that champion too, whatever he needed
well, shit, yeah, we got to take power. Um,
Yeah, no, it's it.
no, and that's the nature of the business. I knew that if I ever did become NWA World Heavyweight Champion, that there would be a constant target on my back. I didn't quite understand the extent of it until I became champion.
Yeah.
Um, there's five guys off the top of my head right now that would give anything to step into the ring and take my title from me. And those are just the people I know about. Um, but if I'm going to be world champion again, I have to go against the meanest, the toughest, the biggest. I have to not only represent myself, but the NWA. I am the face of the company. I am the top dog for the NWA, and so I have to represent that. And that means I'm not going to have an easy night ever. I'm never going to have an easy night. I'm never going to have an easy match. I'm never going to have this. I'm here for fun. Um, I'm here for work every time because every time I step into the ring now, somebody's shooting for me. And again, I bring back, Attila Khan back up. He's foaming at the mouth,
Oh,
realizing the opportunity that's in front of him and what might happen for him and what his future holds after December 1st. But yeah, I wouldn't be the NWA World Champion if I passed this guy up. If I just brushed this guy off. Now Travis Cook, I can brush off. I have
yeah.
Attila Khan, in my opinion, right now, just from the outside purpose, his biggest weakness is Travis Cook. I think Attila Khan would be completely fine all by himself, but that's their business and it's none of mine. I just know Travis Cook needs to stay clear of me December 1st because as friendly as I am now, I know that come December 1st, I'm all about me taking care of me and protecting me in the NWA World Title.
Well, and I may try shoving Travis into you a little bit. You know, uh,
Well, he gets
he's
he gets within that 6 foot distance, brother. It's not my fault.
that's it. Well, and like I said, he's been a thorn in my side for a long, long time, and uh, I mean, the fans are going to come there and they're going to see probably is going to be the match of the year. I can tell them. I mean, I saw you in action against Nick, and that man, there was times I'm thinking, oh boy, this may not be going good, and then you'd reach down inside, and I could see. I mean, I could be on that one knee, and I could see Harley. I could see how he would do it. He'd methodically get up, and all of a sudden, boy, there you were again, and you'd reach down inside and grab that extra energy. And I got to say that was one of the classiest matchups I've seen in a long, long time. I don't know if I'm going to, with Attila being a brawler, but there's one thing I know about Trevor Murdoch. Not only can you wrestle, you can brawl with the best of them.
I I do like a good fist fight. Um, but that's where, and I'm sure Attila Khan and Travis Cook are watching this. That's something I'm going to be mindful as well too. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to just stick my head into a wood chopper either. So I've got to play my cards right. And what I'm going to try to do is keep Attila Khan on the ground. That's the one thing I've noticed. If I can keep him on the ground, I think I'll have him. But once he's on his feet swinging, well, I better be prepared for a fight. And I know that I'm going to fight for my life come December 1st. I know I've spoke to some outside sources, and this is a one-time opportunity for both of us for this matchup. So I know that Attila Khan's going to give me every ounce of who he is, and I'm just hoping at the end of the night I'm the man with my arm raised.
Well, and like I said, the fans who are listening to this and the ones who have already bought their tickets, that's why they know it's going to be one heck of a match. And let's talk a minute, Trevor. you've been in the business quite a while now, and you've had the ups and downs as we talked about, and you've been all over. You were with Harley from basically the start, I think. But then as your career progressed, no secret, big WWE star, and so a lot of times the fans say, why do these wrestlers jump around? Why do they go from here to there? Your career just kind of went on an upcline, and Harley, I know, had a lot to do with it. Harley was so well liked, but without the blood, sweat, and the tears, Trevor wouldn't be sitting there as the NWA champion now. Am I right?
Well, for sure, for sure. The one thing about Harley was he would always point us in the right direction, but he never did. Like, he didn't do the work. He told us what to do. He told us what we needed to do. He told us where to go. But it was the work was ultimately always up to us. And there for a little while as a young guy, I felt like he needed to speak up for us more. As I got older and got more experienced, I realized that he was kind of, we had our stamp, we had his stamp on our back, but we were being able to create who we are, our own person, and we were gaining our own respect. Having Harley's name just opened up the door. We had to do the rest, and that's where I've been blessed to have a 22-year long career and have the respect for my peers, and I've basically did almost everything. You know what I mean? I lived in Japan and worked for Noah over there, and went to live there for 6 months and went through the dojo. I've wrestled at WrestleMania, and I've stood in the Coruscant Ballroom at the Wrestling at the Chase as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Now all those experiences and all that time has accumulated to this one moment of me being world champion. So every time I step into the ring, I use those experiences. I go back to different times. And with Attila Khan, I go straight back to my Japan times. Over there, Japan, and in Japan, wrestling is a more shoot style, aggressive style pro wrestling. And that's what I'm going to have to do with Attila Khan. I'm going to have to just hammer that man and hammer him and hammer him and hammer him again until I find a chink in his armor, and then just exploit that.
So when you were at that Coruscant room, that was kind of like full circle, because I got to believe that growing up underneath that learning tree of Harley, you had to hear some of those stories about the matches that he had at that Coruscant room and in the KPLR studios. Am I right?
Oh, for sure. And what was even cool about it was, we would have to live through his memories. You know what I mean? We never got to go into the building. We never got to go down to the hallway and under the secret room to the television studio, the secret hallway to the television studio. We kind of had to live all of that through his memories and the way he painted it for us to be able to step into that ballroom. You walk into the hotel and it's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're like, oh my gosh, pro wrestling is in a place like this. This is amazing. But then you walk into that ballroom, and for me, I could almost hear echoes of cheers and people hooping and hollering. And that story, that image that Harley painted for me, actually was able to come alive, and I could hear him. I know this all sounds crazy, but I mean, I spent so many years with the guy. I could almost hear him narrate my walk through the ballroom, and then up the stage, and then down the stairs, and then through through the corridors where the delivery people are, and then through one hallway to a locker room, and then through the secret hallway to go under the road to the studio.
I knew where it was at.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I had my own documentary going on in my head, and we were lucky enough when we came up to do the press conference that they gave us a tour, and we kind of got to walk through without having any fans or production people, just us and a few of the NWA guys, wrestlers, and Billy, and it was just so cool. I got to relive a little bit of some of that stuff that he got to tell me about, and the matches that he told me about, and the behind the stage antics that happened, and then to be able to add my own little story to that. You know what I mean? I'm the first main event in 37 years that happened in that building. I'm the first crowned NWA World Champion in 37 years in that building.
And what a legacy that will be. I told people while I was there those days, and fans coming up talking, and I've been in the Corsan room for other fundraisers and other meetings, and every time I've been there, however many years it's been that I've been going in and out of there, everybody, I don't care if I was at a political function, a fundraiser, everybody, there would always be somebody say, man, if these walls could only talk. Can you imagine right over there, underneath those chandeliers, there was Dick the Bruiser, there was Rip Hawk, there was Johnny Valentine, there was Harley Race, and it just starts a conversation. Everybody, wrestling at the Chase was a household name in St. Louis, as you well know. And for you to step back in that building 37 years later and do what you did, that's going to go down in the history books, I'm telling you, because I'm going to help write it, I can tell you.
I sure hope so. Maybe one day I'll be inducted into the Missouri Hall of Fame or Sports Hall of Fame. So.
Well, I think, just what you had, not only what you've done in your career, your 22 years, because I've followed that career. Like I said, I can't tell you how many times if I go back and look at my notes that my wife keeps for me, I know there was a dozen times we tried to get dates together and your schedule wouldn't allow it. And I'm honored because, like I said, this is the first time that you're going to be stepping in an SICW ring, and you're doing it defending the National Wrestling Alliance world title. So I am smiling a little bit, so, but
you should be. This is going to be an awesome moment for everybody.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I said when William and I talked. It was no secret that the NWA was so big in St. Louis under Sam Muchnick. Everybody used to say, to this day, if you talk to Ric Flair, if you talk to Jerry Briscoe, Terry Funk, Dory Funk, they'll all tell you, you didn't make it big in the business until you made it to St. Louis. And buddy, you're there. Attila Khan has been here. The superstar Steve Fenders of the world have been here. Bull Schmidt, your good buddy, my good friend, has been there. But
he'll be at my house this Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving.
Great guy. Tell him I said hello. I saw him there at the 73, and he did get my SICW ring. So I'd love to have him back, but I know he's not doing too much right now. But when the NWA, after 37 years, to have somebody of your caliber get that 10 pound of gold, it ought to make every wrestling fan out there just proud as a peacock, I'm telling you. Because you are going to be that fighting champion. And I think what you're doing on December the 1st, that Wednesday night, you're saying, hey, I don't care how big you are. I don't care how bad you are. If you want it, come get it.
And that's what it is. That's what it's represented for years. And that's how my mentor handled it. I'm going to do business the way he did it. And that was a traveling champion. He fought everybody, and made sure that at the very least at the end of the night, you knew that he was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, and I think your mindset is, because you have a little history with Attila, it's going to be a mind game. And I like you said that right at the beginning, because with him and Travis at ringside, and unfortunately I had to agree to that in order to get the signature down, but they're going to try to play that mind game on you. But they better remember that you've been playing games for a long, long time.
Well, and not to mention, I do have a lot of friends in that locker room, so I may not come out alone. You never know. You never know, Herb.
Oh, yeah, man. I may have to tell Jerry Briscoe to go out there, Well, and I got to tell you, Jerry Briscoe and Travis Cook they're no strangers. Travis experienced that figure four lock up at the Alton Bell Casino one night when he tried to get in his nose in the business, In fact, I think Bull was on that card up at the Alton Bell Casino. I think it was him and Ron Powers against one another. So, man, the time goes fast. But
Most likely Travis deserved it.
oh, without a doubt, he is just the pain in the royal behind. I'll tell you. But I'm telling you, you're. I can tell that you're going to answer Travis at your own time. You've already said that because he has been doing this and doing that. But I'm glad you've let me take a little bit of your time here tonight, because this is going to be, I mean, the news media is already picking up on it. In fact, a couple of the local radio stations are going to be doing some interviews. They're actually going to be interviewing Jerry Briscoe here in the next couple of days about him coming back to St. Louis. And when I told Jerry that what I wanted him to come in for, and he said, Trevor? I said, yeah, he's defending the 10 pounds of gold. He said, get my plane ticket. So Briscoe's on her way. Like I said, the
again,
ace.
No pressure.
Yeah.
You know, no expectations to live up to. None at all, Herb.
In fact, the ace cowboy told me, he says, you know, my arm's getting kind of sore. I may have to put that cast back on in case Travis gets involved. So
we'll get them all involved.
Hey, whatever it's going to take. But, you know, again, I am so excited that William and I could come to this agreement, and I'm more so, and I am honored, and I totally appreciative that you have agreed to do this, and I can understand why, because you want to say, hey, you want to, not that you have to, but you're gonna make a statement here by taking on a guy of Attila Khan that's got that name, the International Bounty Hunter. You know, he's got that unorthodox style, sort of like the Abdullah the Butcher and whoever else out there from back in the Mongolian Stomper, Archie. This guy takes no prisoners, and I just think that you're going to have all eyes open. I can tell you.
I am not taking that man lightly at all. He has all of the skills and the attributes to be the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, which makes him the perfect contender, especially for my first title defense to get this opportunity. That's the judgment call that I have to make when it comes to my opponents. Is I have to make sure that if this man does beat me, is he going to represent the company and the business the way it should be? And Attila Khan checks all those boxes. I just hope that December 1st, I'm a little bit better than him that night.
Well, and I said that earlier, and I'm as we get ready to wrap up here, I know you are one busy man, and I can just imagine the phone rings off the hook, and
I have another interview after this one as we speak.
That's what I mean, and I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity, and I will get this out to our fans, and they're going to be excited. I know they're going to want to come and see which one of you, the champ of the NWA World Title, Trevor Murdoch, or Attila Khan, who holds that SICW Classic Hall of Fame title, which that beautiful belt we've got's got every person that has been inducted in that St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame's name on it. Everybody from Sam Muchnick to the Funks, the Briscoes, everybody's on it. Very prestigious belt itself, but it's nothing like that 10-pound gold that you got, because that's the world champion. And,
yes, sir.
They're going to be coming, but I know I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be sitting there, and I'm going to see which one of you's paid attention in class when Harley was sitting there smoking his cigarette and telling you guys do this, do that. But before we go, tell the fans why they should come and see Attila Khan and the NWA champion on December 1st.
Well, what's going to happen December 1st is what Attila Khan and I is we're going to represent pro wrestling to our best of ability. You're going to see two men clash and give everything they've got for the most prestigious World Heavyweight Championship, which is the NWA World Heavyweight title. You're going to see two men go out there and give every ounce of who they are to make sure that they can get their hand raised that evening. So to be honest with you, we're just going to beat the hell out of each other, and the fans are the ones that are going to be the ones that are going to enjoy it the most and benefit the most. I keep repeating, I hope at the end of the night I've got my arm raised.
Well, that's what I'm sure a lot of the fans in St. Louis, because St. Louis is NWA family, and they're going to be there. I know that without a doubt. Fans, we've been talking to the National Wrestling Alliance champion, Trevor Murdoch, here tonight. He doesn't need no introduction. Everybody knows him that's in the wrestling world or wrestling fan, but he is the NWA world champion. He's the man that gets to lay claim to carrying that 10 pounds of gold with him, and he's going to be having his first title defense on Wednesday night, December the 1st, at the Holiday Inn right next to the Viking Lounge at 270 and Watson Road. And he's going to be going against the International Bounty Hunter. And yes, Travis Cook will be there in the corner. And I'm sure if he gets out of line, the champ, as he said, may have some of his friends in the locker room take care of that situation. So this will be a one-on-one fair competition, maybe for a first time in a long time. But you will see that world title match. I can't thank again Mr. Corrigan from the National Wrestling Alliance, and of course the champ for agreeing to this match. But also a ladies match. Miranda Gordy will be there against Malaya Hosaka. Superstar Steve Fender will be on the card. Niles Planque will be there. The big Texan, rough cut Rick Ruby, Gary Jackson defending that SICW Central States title, and a few other matches. Bobby D. There'll be 6 matches in all. The doors are going to open at 5 with a little autograph signature session, and then the bell time will be at 7 o'clock. It's for the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame induction of Sam Muchnick, Larry Matisek, and Mickey Garagiola. Their family members will be there to witness history being made as the NWA returns to St. Louis, and Trevor Murdoch, the NWA champion, his first title defense against the International Bounty Hunter, Attila Khan. Champ, again, wish your family well, and I wish you well. And I know we'll be talking, and I'll see you on Wednesday, December the 1st in St. Louis.
Thank you for having me, Herb. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, buddy.